Welcome to Pillow Talkin,
Yep.
the only podcast shot from the bedroom, from our bed, I should say.
The bedroom sounds fine though.
But what if somebody else shooting
From
from
the
the bedroom?
bedroom.
Yeah.
You're right. I
Yeah.
mean, probably everybody, honestly.
Yeah, probably, yeah. So, from our bed, though.
From the bed.
Yes. But anyway, this week, like always, we always start with something that I saw on social media that I thought was really interesting or involves relationships or whatever. And I think like something crazy that I saw was the whole DeMarcus Cousins thing with his baby mom. How like she pretty much trapped him into threatening her life, which I think is kind of evil, but he should have been smarter. So I do want to say, if you don't know what's going on, pretty much DeMarcus Cousins was getting married. He wanted his son to come to the wedding, but his ex and his baby mama was like, "No, my son's not coming to your wedding." Of course, DeMarcus Cousins is mad. He's being recorded on the phone. He doesn't know it. He ends up saying like he'll shoot you. He'll shoot her.
Yeah.
You know, stuff you say when you're mad. You know, everybody. Some stuff trigger people, and especially kids. Like that's a quick way to get a reaction out of anybody, to use kids as kind of a pawn.
That's bait, yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying what he did was right. Or
What he said wasn't right.
Yeah, it wasn't right.
How he.
But I understand his reaction because I mean, I know he doesn't. He's not going to kill the mother of his child. I mean, as crazy as the world is today, we all say stuff when we're mad that we don't really mean. Does it make it right? No, but it's not like a serious. We should be worried about her. You know, I guess safety. So I don't know. Why do women do that?
First of all, you should pick your baby mamas wisely. Second of all,
That wasn't a question.
I'm just saying, putting that out there. Because I don't like baby mama drama. But anyway. So, I don't know. Because I've never been one of those baby mamas to use my kid as baits or to, like, get back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm saying,
But
why do
it's
you want
just-
to do it? Like,
Because they jealous. Some could be jealous. Some could not like the girl, which is still jealousy. They just want to make their own. You know how, like, okay, if it's like they just want to ruin the day. Like, I'm on, like,
ruin the wedding day, you mean?
yeah, like,
Well-
especially if he don't have it, if he's never done anything wrong. Now, if he did something wrong, then okay, like, she can't trust him with
My
the kid
thing
or
is,
whatever.
There's a lot of people that's saying that. There's a lot of people that's agreeing with her that the kid
I
shouldn't
know.
go to wedding.
Oh.
And I'm like,
I knew there were gonna have people that agree with
how
her.
can you agree that
I knew.
somebody's child shouldn't go to their wedding because you guys are not together? That's still
Yeah,
them being
because
a
we
father.
even let
like that.
Evan go to his dad's wedding. So
Right, you gotta explain. People are just saying names.
okay, so we even let my son go to his real dad's wedding,
Right,
his
so
blood dad.
Dominique's son, her oldest son is not my biological child, but recently his father did get married, and we let him go to the wedding.
And it was out of town.
And it was out of
actually.
state.
Yeah. So.
Kind of a similar situation, actually, if you want to think about it, because I think his wedding was out of state too. So it's just one of those things, like you don't be like you care about your child's
Yeah.
safety, but if it's something that you think that they'll be okay with doing, I mean, let them go. Like you don't use kids as bait. Like
Yeah.
that's to me that's.
But I don't even think it was out of the way she went about it and recording him and whatnot. I
No,
don't think she
it
went.
was
I don't think it was
personal.
out of, oh, I care about my kid. I don't
No,
want
it
him
was
to be
personal.
sick. It was
personal.
purposely done too.
But it was a personal. Like she was. Trying to
Yeah,
get
it was
back in
personal
this.
and it was purposely done.
But I don't think that she realized any. So now, if you didn't know, there's an arrest warrant for DeMarcus Cousins because of the threat he made. I don't think she realized that you are doing that to the father of your child.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what he did to you, you guys not together anymore, so move on. Then on top of that, you are putting you're putting charges on the father of your child after you basically set him up. Like, I mean, he shouldn't have fell for it, like I keep saying, but she really set him up.
But yeah, she knew what was. But that's also she know his triggers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, his kids.
So you can't say she did low key set him up for that. She
I
knew how
know-
he was gonna
that's
get.
how I
It's
know
not
he's
like he a
probably
stranger.
great dad because the way, like, how quick and emotional he got about his son not being there. Because I know some dudes have been like, all right, well, I tried. Like, some dudes would have been like, whatever, or cool, you really gonna do that, but like that's a real trigger for him. So he probably is a great father and wants his kid around as much as possible. But of course, being an athlete and
It's really hard for some athletes or like I guess famous people. They're like partners to move on sometimes. Like
Right.
it's really hard.
I mean,
like,
because you got to think about it, their relationship was public,
right, and they literally made a lifestyle around that.
right? And right with the relationship became a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's like basically if going from dating somebody who I'm not even talking about just financially. I'm talking about like every single aspect of life, from being, in the media, from being, around other, like I don't want to, like upper class people, like
Yeah.
eating at fancy restaurants,
Right, and then having
having to go date a regular guy, which is nothing wrong with that. But I mean, that is a huge.
But stand on your own, because a lot of women,
right.
if they're dating an athlete or if the guy is the famous one, they stand on them. As whereas just as like if the guy wasn't the famous one and the woman was the famous one, they stand on them, And if you gotta stand on yourself, it's.
So I think I don't want to say what he did was right because you can't make threats at people, but I mean she was wrong for setting them up at the same time. Like they both were wrong. They both failed their child in this instance. Like they both should have been better people, and that's
her actions and his emotions. I
right.
mean, he could have controlled his emotions better.
But let's be real. I've shown you clips of DeMarcus. He can't control his emotions on a basketball court. Like DeMarcus Cousins, literally.
That's why I'm saying she knew what she was doing.
He is a very impulsive guy. Like when he gets mad, he's quick to show his anger. And being that you've been that close to him, she knew.
She knew. That's
she
why I was
knew that.
Like, it's clearly set up.
Right. And I feel like she knew. I honestly think she probably told him the son could go and then changed and said no. And then got him on the phone after she told him no.
Right.
Because she knew
and
he was going. Yeah, she knew. I mean, to me, that's evil, though. That is evil. His response.
Why would you do that? That's
his response was a natural impulse that he should work on, but her trying to set him up was pure evil.
Thought that.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, if you really felt for your safety, why would you go to the shade? I don't know, the shade room. One of the like gossip sites before you went to police. It magically leaked. The voicemail or the recording leaked from your phone.
Why would you even record it? I just don't.
Only reason you should record that if you really go take him to court and say like put a restraining order on him. Cool, but you leaked that to the public. Like you knew what you were doing.
Right.
You knew, especially
to
nowadays.
Sabotage him.
Like the NBA is really trying to take a stand on domestic violence and stuff, and all that's been taken seriously. He just had another injury. So like you knew
he really trying to ruin him.
Like it was deep.
Like ruin his life
on his wedding week. I'm like,
it's clearly because she's pressed about the wedding.
She pressed and clearly she didn't move on.
Clearly
because.
But you're wrong. That's wrong. That's not cool at all. As a woman, like have some respect. Like,
so what advice would you? I don't want to say advice, but if you could talk or give some words to baby mamas who do stuff like that, what would you tell them? Like who use the kids against their baby?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I don't want to just say.
Well, I can't speak for baby daddies, but I mean,
baby
mamas, I can because I am.
You are a baby mama.
Right. But I think I just never ever had to do that. But I don't think I ever would do that because I know how, like for me, I know how evil I have to think to do that. Like. That's to me that is so evil to use my child to get back at you. Like if I know that's the only thing that's keeping me, well, that's kind of the issue. I think women.
You gotta stop moving your hands.
Oh, sorry. I think women realize that the kid is the only thing that's keeping the man talking to them.
Right.
Are keeping them in cahoots, I guess, like friends or whatever, and so to get back at the man or whatever for not wanting them, they take the kids or they do something, which.
And to me, I don't want to say that's criminal, but it is low key. Like, it's a level of wickedness or evil. Like
it's really evil.
To
an innocent child.
An innocent child as like literally a piece to get back at somebody is like ridiculous.
Like they're not a kid.
Yeah,
a soul. They don't have.
I don't understand that.
Like they don't have a heart. Or they won't get older and realize what you did. And that's what I always was afraid of. You already know. Like we talk about this all the time. Like I didn't want. Like I pushed him on his dad and whatever. And because even when we wasn't together, because I didn't care about our relationship, I cared really about him and his dad's relationship. Like once I was done, that was it, you know.
Right.
And I feel like that's if you make that up in your mind, then everything will go smoother. But if you still got loose ends and you don't have no closure, etc., then you still gonna try to figure out ways to
Yeah,
get
my
back.
thing is just like, how if like what can you do if you know somebody is using your kids against you? Like,
Right.
because if you go to court, it's hard to prove.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get. You know, like
Especially being a man.
to me,
like,
that was my biggest fear. That's why I really never wanted to have a kid till I got like married and
Yeah.
stable, because I never wanted to be in a situation where I know I really want my son or
And you
my
can't
daughter,
get 'em, yeah.
and somebody is being like vindictive and evil. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Like that was my biggest fear. Like, and I know a lot of guys and even women who are in that situation where it's literally nothing they can do about it legally because you can't prove it.
Right.
Like, it's hard to prove, for one, and then on top of that, especially as a guy, it's already like a strike against us because the court it's already hard
They
for guys
sometimes
to
ruling, most of the time,
Right.
ruling women's favor. Yeah.
right.
That's
So
true.
that was always my biggest fear. So I see where DeMarcus Cousins was coming from,
Right.
like his anger, but what she did was foul. So
And how he reacted was not
Right.
right. Was not wise.
stop using
Sorry. I want to ask you something.
it.
I don't know, whenever you want to.
No,
So, we were talking about closure, right, with this.
right.
And so, anyway, I saw on social media also this question that I wanted to ask you.
Go.
Okay, so the question was, well, it was an experience anyway. So, sorry. I'm a talker with my hands. So, yeah, so the girl was like, well, the lady was like, her ex was going to prison for like life or something, and she was married.
Oh, and she went to see him before he went
She
to
asked,
jail.
yeah, what was that
That's no.
for closure?
It's no closure.
She wanted to see him in person.
Only closure you need is a wig, like lace front. Like, don't. If you haven't still need closure,
Why did you
that
get
means that you're not ready for like in this situation, a woman was married and
Yeah.
went to her ex's like last days out
And
to get closure. What do
They
you
went
need
out to
closure?
eat.
What do you need closure from an ex from if you're married? Like there should be no closure in a like. You're not ready to get married until you close all these loose ends.
Right.
So
And that's great.
Right.
You're not ready to get married unless you close all the other
Yeah.
doors.
Only closure you need in marriage is for your hair.
That was wild,
Or
huh?
Yeah.
Like, what?
But I mean, for the most part, majority of people was like, no, you was wrong. Like,
But she was so serious. Like, she was like, I need it. Like it was okay.
oh, and then it was just an ex. It wasn't even like an ex-husband or it wasn't.
Like,
It was
you
an
could call him,
ex-boyfriend.
even if you do though. You could call. He could call you in jail. Like,
I needed, and I saw.
I needed
like,
to see him face to face. Is what she said.
Yeah, I was
No,
like,
for what?
Yeah, you weren't ready to move on,
Like,
and that's okay. Take your time to do whatever. You
yeah,
gotta
I don't
do.
know why people do that.
Do
stuff.
whatever you gotta do to heal, and before you
It's like that's what you're supposed to do before you get married.
Yes.
Make sure that you are ready.
that's
Mentally,
why you don't rush some
emotionally,
ass. You
physically,
make sure
spiritually.
you are over every obstacle, everything.
Yes.
Everything is closed up.
Right.
You don't get married,
it's
then go
crazy.
seeking closure from old relationships.
Damn, that's wild. Like, that's wild.
Unless it's like a family member or something, like you don't need but no ex-boyfriend.
I feel like people throw that closure word around too much, too sometimes,
Right.
to like get what they want or to like have their cake and ice cream.
Right.
Oh, I need closure. No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah, I to me,
Stop.
my thing is I saw that and I wanted to comment, but I didn't feel like arguing with
Women.
women, so I was like, whatever. But I saw a majority of people was like,
Yeah, I did
you
too.
wrong. So I mean, that one just kind of cut and dry. Like, why would you get married?
Sometimes.
Didn't see closure.
And she was like an older lady. You too old for that. Like,
But then somebody was like, it's your ex-boyfriend. It's not like if it was an ex-husband or spouse, I would understand a little bit
Yeah.
better because a
But-
lot goes into a marriage besides just like,
that stuff.
right.
Liking each other.
So it could be like a lot, like,
But babe, I understand too. But my thing was like, why do you have to see him in person? A phone call? She was emphasizing in person. Like, I needed to see him face to
Right.
face. No, you don't.
Because I think she just wanted to go out on a date
One
with
more
her
time with him.
ex-boyfriend one more time.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that she could say to
Make it,
justify
yeah.
it, so she can sleep at night.
Right.
Clearly, she knew it was wrong. Like, you wouldn't ask a question like that if you didn't think it was wrong.
And I wonder what her husband said. Like,
I don't know, but he sounds
Come
soft
on,
if he let her go.
yeah,
'Cause I wouldn't let her.
'cause I want to let her go.
Well, I would have
yeah.
went with her.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong that.
All right,
the two
my
people
wife
gonna
needed
go.
closure. We're here to eat because my wife needed closure.
But I feel like you would act seriously. I feel like you would be petty.
No, I wouldn't. I would let you get the closure. All right.
You would let me get closure.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. We had a question.
Another question.
Yeah, we had a question. The question was like, "Hi, can you guys talk about being in relationships for a very long time and the guy stalling marriage or the idea of proposing?" Long story short, I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years, and we have a 16-month-old together. I had brought up marriage before. He's made excuses saying he doesn't want a big wedding, and he's never saw a proposal in real life. Me either. I want other people's input. Thanks. Okay, so pretty much this is what I like to call why should you get married? Because if you this is why, besides religious beliefs, why people tell you not to move in
With
your significant other.
Yep.
It's not just because y'all don't need to be
Yeah,
shacking up.
right.
No,
It's
it's because
not.
once you start
It's a
playing house
mindset, yeah.
and getting that mindset,
Yeah.
why would you get married?
Why would I live? Like, that's what we always been talking about.
So look,
like,
here.
seriously.
I'm about to get a sneak peek inside our lives. We moved in together before we got married. And it literally was this point in time where Dominique was like, hey, we need to get married. Like, she kept saying it. I kept saying, what's going to change? You know? Like, and that's the mindset people be in. Like, you move in with somebody, y'all start, I don't want to say playing house, y'all start actually doing house and, you know, paying bills, having kids, you know, decorating, like literally everything.
Getting joint accounts, like
Joint accounts.
buying stuff together, like using each other credit, like
Once you move in, y'all, and then on top of that, y'all do that while y'all not married. Then the dude, why would the dude propose?
right.
Like,
And he had that mindset. We weren't even living together. We just literally like maybe like a month, like
yeah, we only were living together
because we knew,
got
yeah,
married.
right.
But I had that mindset. I was like, man, do we really, like, what's the point of getting married? Like, what's going to change? Just that
He would
quick,
really ask me
because
that.
it's a guy.
He was like, what's going to change besides sex? Because I remember he was like, well, what's going to change besides sex? Because I was like, I'm not having sex with you.
Right. So my thing was, I'm like, for a guy, our mindset is we don't think of emotions.
Yeah.
We use logic. So the guy is thinking that, like, okay, I see every day I read something, it's always about a marriage, divorce. I see people going through in the marriages. Everything good. We've been good for 5 years. We got a baby. We good.
What do we need to get married
What do we need to get married for besides people? Like, we doing that for people. I already know what God's
Seriously.
thinking because in their head, like, everything's working. We together 5 years strong. We good. I love her. She love me. Our house look good. We got the baby. So now they got this mindset, you know, we use logic. Why would we change that? Why would we go get married and mess everything up?
Right.
And a lot of men, it's not that they don't want to marry you. It's just the fact they can't find a logical reason why, because everything that comes to marriage, you're doing before you're married. And that's why older people tell you don't do that. It's not just because we don't want you to have sex and have babies. No, it's because once you start doing these, like, you know, playing house, as they call it, it's so hard
To get out of that.
to
too.
get out of that because stuff like, and just like we're saying, we literally had that happen to us within a month. We moved in, I want to say October or November.
Yeah.
And literally we was planning on getting married in like January. And literally in that time frame, I was sitting there like, why would we get married? You know, besides sex, what's gonna change? Like why we gonna spend money on a?
And I was like, are you kidding me?
Why we gonna spend money on a marriage certificate and the judge and all these people and do all this hoopla? We doing that for people, and that's because I'm using logic. You know, women want the emotions, like you said. You want the proposal, you want the big wedding, or that's what guys think.
And then I think, remember before we had decided to go do the court, you were saying like, why do you need a big why do you need a big wedding and whatever? And I was like, we don't have to do a big wedding. We could just get married.
Right.
Like.
And I was thinking like, cause
He was thinking about the wedding.
I feel like they sold us this dream on the wedding and not the marriage.
Right.
Like, we always see these big Facebook stories and movies about the wedding day,
Right.
but
wedding.
never the day after. There's no hoopla about the actual moving in together and that process and
Bills
and
Yeah.
learning
Sacrifice.
to live with somebody else.
Right.
So what happens is when you move in together before you're married, you go through that marriage-like process without the covenant and without the legal
commitment. Yeah.
So now you want to get married, but then in the guy's mind, sometimes even the ladies, why mess up if it's going good? Like,
Right.
because usually what they say, people get divorced within the first year. They don't last a year. People stay together, date, as soon as they get married, they break up.
Right.
And that I know, I literally right now could name 2 guys who have been with girls for like 7 years and are literally afraid to get married, and their relationship get messed up. You know what I'm saying?
So we don't realize that it's really our fault because we low key allowed them to be in that
Right.
position.
So I don't want
freely.
I don't want women to think that the guy doesn't want to be married,
Yeah.
because technically, and I don't want anybody to hear me wrong, you guys are technically married already. It's just it's like a
Another
bigger
level.
commitment
Yeah.
that you gotta make, because nothing's gonna change in your day to day.
Right.
Like,
It's gonna be
you
the
go,
same.
You gonna get married, and guess what? You're gonna be doing the same thing you've been doing the last
Right.
5 years, living together, raising a
Exactly.
kid together
Yep.
now, paying the same bills. There's nothing new magical that happens when you're married. Like, you don't come home and it's nothing.
Like there's a new
Yeah,
world.
nothing's gonna change.
Yeah.
But it is a new level of commitment that
Mm-hmm.
now you have to respect. You have to respect them as a spouse.
Yeah.
And now there's legal ramifications to stuff. Now, there's certain things you can do together that you couldn't do before. Like, you can go put both of y'all names on something and do it as a couple. You can file taxes together, stuff like that. But as far as like just a day-to-day life changing,
That
nothing's
people
gonna,
will see.
yeah,
kinda
nothing's gonna change.
Yeah. It really, to me, okay, well, whenever we got married, it was kind of an emotional change for
Right.
the woman. But
Well, no, even for us, it's different because we share the same faith, so we have like a spiritual connection too.
Yeah.
So I don't want to use that for everybody because they might not
Right.
be,
yeah, that's why I said
Whatever.
emotional.
So-
that's why I said like emotionally.
But-
Like, I love you more. Oh my God, you're my husband. Like,
right. But yeah, so to answer your question, the why he doesn't do it, because he sees no logical reason to. And for men, and it sounds like y'all stable and he's not like crazy. If there's no logical reason to do something, if it don't make logic
men
sense,
won't really.
we're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, if it don't make sense, it don't make sense. Like, men are not going. Wait, have we been living together for how long? 5 years or however long? Why are we changing it? Like, why? Like, you think you don't trust me? That's what going on in men. Say, oh, you don't trust me now? Oh, we go get married. You go do something different. Like we are thinking logically. We are looking at all these people complain about their marriages in these groups.
Well,
on
that's the problem.
Facebook and-
Well, you guys are only thinking about the negative, which is typical guy. Like, I'm only thinking.
Right, but that's what men do.
But okay, but I know, but we're not saying that that's right, because that's not okay that men do that.
Right, it's not.
However, but women do that too. That's what I was saying. She might be thinking that, oh, it's emotional. You're thinking about physical, but she might be thinking the emotional parts. Oh, he don't love me enough, like,
True,
so that's
yeah.
hurting her too. But I think they have to realize that if they don't get married, like if their plans are to stay together and they don't get married, I don't think they're gonna last, because that's gonna hurt
Right,
them.
eventually, one side is not going to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
And when you have that, it's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
So my best advice is figure out is marriage the goal, or
Mm-hmm.
is this big wedding with a big proposal? Is that your
the
goal?
goal.
Because if that's your goal, then he's right. Maybe he don't want to do a big wedding. Maybe you need to find somebody else.
Right.
Maybe that's not him. But if marriage is the goal, like literally just being husband and wife, pick a date,
And
go,
do it.
go down to your courthouse,
Yep.
call a justice of peace, figure out how much
They
they
have
charge
nice
to marry you.
venues too.
Pick a date, set it in stone. I don't care what rain. I don't care if it's a hurricane. I don't care if the baby. I don't care. That day we are getting married.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's done. I don't need no. If you really want this to get married, I don't need
Just
no big
get
wedding.
married,
I don't need no
right.
big ring.
That's
I
literally
just
how we
wanna-
were. That's how I
got you.
No, I'm talking about like the wedding thing. We were like, well, I was like, I mean,
I got you
I don't
ice
care.
ring.
Oh my God, I'm not talking about the ring. I'm talking about the actual wedding. And even if
gee,
you,
disrespect.
even though you did give me a nice ring, you know I didn't care.
Okay, let's not go there. Anyway,
I didn't care.
pick a date. Like right now, when you listen to this, go to him and be like, look, I just want to get married. I don't care about none of the other hoopla, the fairy tale movies. I want to be with you. I think you want to be with me, right? Right? Okay. We need to pick a date to get married. We don't have to go do no wedding. I can get pastor. I can get judge. We can get it done,
Whoever.
and that's done. And if he agrees to that, now you're married, got a date. Let us
There you
know.
go.
We'll see you something nice. If not, you may need to either look for counseling or look for somebody else who's going to fulfill that desire. Now, since you have a kid, you really can't leave. So you guys need to you guys need to go get counseling about how y'all can get to marriage. Because I feel
Yeah.
like if y'all been working for 5 years, y'all got a kid, everything is good. Just
Why
go get
not?
married.
Yeah.
Man, go do it. Man, I'm telling you, get married, stuff, it's a better feeling. I'm not going to lie.
It is.
Stuff feel better
fun.
to say you got a wife or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I just don't worry on the negative so much because it seems like they're just.
Well,
he
I don't
probably,
know. She's not worried. It's the guy.
Well, I know, but man, I'm just telling her for him, like,
Yeah.
bring up the positive and
Yeah,
and
he's thinking about logic. So.
Yeah, he's like maybe it sounds more of that he's scared though.
Yeah.
So you just have to work around his
Find
fear.
Just find out the why
what he's
and then address it, and it's just that simple.
right and reassure because men are like babies, so
Right.
reassure.
So it's like we end every podcast. I love you, but I don't care. So it's like a little part where we talk about stuff that I love, but she doesn't care. But she loves me, so she's gonna listen. Well,
And
this
vice
week,
versa.
the NFL is back. Football officially starts, and I'm super excited.
Okay,
So we're gonna be watching a lot of football.
great.
Who's my favorite team?
Saints.
Duh. What you mean, Saints? Better say it with some
Because you're
confidence.
not really from Louisiana.
I am from Louisiana.
He's from Arkansas.
From North Louisiana. Anyway, yeah, so football is starting back. Basketball is like 51 days away. So, we're finally getting back to the good sports that matter because all the other ones don't. They don't. Baseball is the most boring sport to
You know,
watch.
cheerleading is a sport.
It is a sport, but it's not a competitive sport.
What?
Like, it's not like
It's a group
one-on-one, like, I'm going to beat you.
A group is a family. You're one.
Okay, whatever. If it doesn't involve a ball, it's not a sport. I didn't say that. I saw it on Twitter.
Right. Oh, that's what you're going off of Black Twitter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though Simone Biles,
Yeah.
she is an athlete. So gymnastics, that's different than Chile. Like what they do with Gabby Douglas and the rest of them,
Black people are taking over gymnastics, though.
they would have been took over. We just couldn't afford it.
That's what I'm saying. They're taking over now.
Like, yeah. We always, yeah.
That's the reason we wasn't in a lot of things we couldn't afford it.
Right. But shout out to them, man. Shout out to Simone Biles and all that. But anyway, what's your...
What's mine you don't care about?
Yeah.
A lot of things that I think about, but
Yeah, I really don't care.
I didn't.
But I listen because I love you.
Yeah, he low-key didn't care that I went to the gym today and worked 20 minutes.
No, I did care.
No,
I love when you go
no,
to
no,
the
no,
gym.
no, no, no.
Don't try
Babe,
to play me on here.
No.
And I just told you you did a great job.
Yeah, after I said it was on the stair climber.
Yeah,
Then
because you
was
didn't
like,
specify. You was just like, I did 20 minutes
wow,
in the
you
gym.
did great.
But you was like, I know I did 20 minutes on the stair
You
climber.
don't even care if
And
I
I'm
just
like,
go to the gym.
No, I don't. I don't get participation trophies. You know me. You don't get a trophy for just going. I
Okay,
want
so
to know that you put
anyway,
in work.
yeah,
You did put in
JT's
work.
supposed to be my trainer, so
You put in work. 20 minutes on a stair climber is no small feat.
it's whack. He's not very nice.
I'm not.
He almost killed me the other night. It was my first time working out and like.
She gonna put me out there like I'm a
because people need to know.
attempted murderer.
You were low key. I was gonna die on this floor right here.
She was gonna die by doing planks.
No, it was just too much. He was doing too much. He was literally acting like I was in high school in like the 9th grade.
You know, like I've just been, like I didn't just have a baby, like, like I just have been working
We
out my
both
whole
had a
life.
baby. Remember that? We were pregnant. Remember you kept saying that?
Yeah,
So we
pregnant
both
because
had
I
a
thought it
baby.
was the logical thing to do. I didn't really care to say we. I wanted to say I'm.
But you said we're pregnant.
Yeah, because I didn't want you to feel left out because I know you're emotional.
Well, guess what? I didn't. I had my baby too. So guess what? Gotta bounce back.
No.
So that's why I'm hard on you.
No.
You got to do it at your pace, your own steady pace.
That's why I'm trying to help you. Get a routine going.
You're trying to kill me.
Okay, whatever.
You're trying
Anything
to kill
else?
me. No.
All right, well. That's the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Good night.
JT.
I can't say that.
Oh my god.
I'm really going to have to bleep that out before they take our stuff down. But anyway, good night.
Good night from NeNe and JT. Cause you never.
What is
It sounds so stupid, huh?
Yeah, this ain't good
NeNe
night.
and JT. No, because you never said our names. I like when
don't know
we
what's going
introduce
on?
ourselves.
Okay, good night from JT.
And you be
then
forgetting, so
Good night.
I'm delirious.
All right, good night.
Good night.